you Okay, guys, let's get started. So this is going to be the last live session that I'll be taking. I hope my voice is audible and the screen is visible. Uh, so in this particular week, there are not many new topics to cover, but I still have we'll still discuss a few problems. Uh, so let's get started. So this is just a very basic program. Write a program in C to do the following. Create two projects. In one project, have a .c file that contains a function to add two integer numbers. In the other project, use the function in this file to add two numbers and print the result onto the console. So this is basically to test the concept that we have learned this week. So how to use functions from other classes, from other code in other projects. How can we use it? So you guys basically have to create a project, and in that project you just have to write a function, okay, uh, in a .c file. You can name it whatever you want, and then you create another project and use the code that was written in the first project. So basically, the function in the first project you have to write a function called add, which takes in two integer values as a parameter and then returns one more integer, which is the addition of the two integers. So you have to use this function in the other project. So you guys can get started. Okay, Joshi is asking, Joshi is asking about the exam. Uh, So I don't have any idea about the exam pattern, Devanshi, because I'm not involved with that part of the course. I'm not in direct contact with the professor also. So these live sessions are directly through NPTEL. Uh, so I don't have any idea about the exam pattern or what MCQ questions or whatever that will be there. However, if you have any questions, I can try and answer that, which can maybe help you prepare for the exam. But other than that, I don't have uh, uh, any idea about the exam pattern as such. Okay, guys. So you can just take 10 minutes to try and yeah. Somebody's telling. I think we have to prepare from assignments only. Okay, you guys can take 10 minutes to try and solve this. It's not very complicated. If you've done it before, it's straightforward. If you're doing it for the first time, then it might be slightly complicated. Radhika is asking, can we get previous exam paper? I don't have access to that, Radhika, but maybe you can just email the professor and ask him. So when is the exam for you guys? Tomorrow. Oh, so soon. Okay. Some are telling Sunday, some are telling okay. For I think for some people it's on Saturday, for some people it's on Sunday. So if you guys have any doubts, I can try and I mean I can try and address it. If you don't want me to discuss these questions also, we can go ahead and actually discuss any doubts that you have. Some people are asking me for the assignments and all that. So I myself have not gone through the assignments. The main previous question. So first I'll address Kavya's question. Kavya is telling, sir, can I get the first and second assignments? I don't receive email on that. You can actually access the assignments through the portal itself. Let me just go. Let me show you how to access. See, Kavya, just look here. Uh, One second. See, you can see this. You can access the solution. Look, you can access all the solutions here. I hope. So actually, see, you can see that even I have not gone through the assignments. But if you just have a look, I think the solutions are shared. I hope this solves. Sir, can I? Okay, sir. Remain previous question. Pawan Shaw is asking, sir. Remain previous question. What is that, Pawan? I didn't understand. Ba- Samruddhi Bajpayee is asking about previous year questions. So that is what I said, that I myself have not gone through the previous year's questions. I mean, I don't have access to the previous year's questions. Uh, so I won't be able to help you in that regard. Teach assignment week 3. I don't understand assignment 8th one. First, let me myself see, because I have not gone through these assignments. Okay, many people are asking previous year question paper. I don't have access. That is what I'm saying. I don't have access to the previous year's question paper. So that somebody is asking me about the assignment 3. I don't know about how the grading is done. So my role in this entire process to only come and discuss certain questions. I don't have any role in setting the assignments or the admin related work. Uh, so I see, for example, you can see here I have not even gone through the assignment questions before. Okay, so I don't have much idea about uh, how they are grading the assignments, what is the previous year questions, and all that. Yeah, so somebody is asking me a tip for tomorrow exam. That is something I can answer. What you guys can do is, uh, what you should do is, you know it's all about, if you know the concepts, no matter what question comes, you can solve it according to me. So just go through the concepts, go through all the assignment questions. If you solve all the assignment questions, my belief is that I think you will be able to score well in the exam. So that is my tip, Kalyan. That is what Kavya and some other people are also asking. That will it be theoretical? Yeah. So Kalyan, will it be theoretical or practical? Kavya is asking. That is what I don't know, Kavya. I'm not involved with setting the question paper. I'm not even in contact with the professor, so I won't be able to answer that. Somebody's asking if I pass the exam, if I learn all the assignment problems. Yes, you can easily pass. Don't worry about it. Okay, somebody is telling week three. Okay, let us go through week three. So, what do you guys want me to do? I have some questions this week that I wanted to discuss. Do you want me to go through this, or I mean, how do you want me to approach this particular session? Somebody is telling week seven. Somebody is telling week three. Jaisuri is asking me about. Okay, somebody is telling assignment questions are at the high level. Yeah, I am not saying that everything will be tough. Not everything. Not every. They'll have few easy questions and few tough questions. That is what I hope. Again, I'm just telling this uh, out of thin air. I don't know exactly how the questions is going to be. Yeah. Okay. So what do you guys want me to do? I have a set of questions this week. Do you want to go these, or do you want? If you have any specific doubts, then I can answer them. Okay. Week 5 to week 8. So many. Okay. Let me go through this. Okay. So somebody first had asked me week 3. So let me first go through week 3. Complete the function int find factorial int k to find the factorial of the positive number k. The factorial of a positive integer k denoted by k factorial is the product of all positive integers less than or equal to k. Okay. The first line of the input is a positive number n. The next line contains n positive integers for I is equal to. So essentially they want us to print factorial. Okay, so we'll go through this particular question. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Complete. Okay, so you guys can try and solve this. I'll also take fights and then we'll discuss this. Okay. We can discuss the solution actually. So take 5 minutes to solve this. 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, even I'll try and solve this and then we'll discuss. Okay, so shall we discuss this solution? Okay, I'll give you guys some time. Just go through it. Okay, so we'll discuss this particular question. Let us see what they are doing. Let us discuss the solution. Okay, Windows should. 1 second. That's the wrong solution. Okay, so I'll just discuss this particular solution. So the question was, first you have to, there's two inputs. The first is a positive integer n. The second input is a contains n. The next line contains n positive integers. Okay, from okay, and you have to output the factorial of each. So let me go back. So what can the input be? Okay, let me give an example of an input. So let us say we have the first input according to the question is n. N is equal to, let's say, 3. Okay. Now, what is it saying? It is saying that uh, now for each input, uh, now 3, right? Now the user has to enter three inputs. Okay. So let's say the user enters 2, then 8, then 4. Okay. Uh, the program should take only 3 inputs, and then for each input it should calculate the factorial. So it should calculate 2 factorial, then it should calculate 8 factorial, then it should calculate 4 factorial. Okay. So first let us see how a factorial is calculated. So we know that a function, for any function, it should be written above the main, or above the main, because it is going to be used here. So it needs to be defined uh, before the place where it is going to be used. Okay. Now let us look at this scanf percentage n. So now the, let's say the user enters 3. Okay. Now I have a loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. So let us look at the first loop. Okay, when I is equal to 0, what happens? Scanf percentage k. So we now take in a input. Okay, we have to take in 3 inputs, right? 3 numbers. So let's say the user enters 2. So 2 is stored in k. K is equal to 2 entered by the user. Now printf, okay, percentage d comma find underscore factorial k. So I'm calling this particular function find factorial. I'm passing in the value 2 to it, which is k actually. K has 2 in it, and that function, now this particular function is being called. Okay. So what does this function do? Int p is equal to 1. For int I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to k, I plus plus. Okay. So first in this loop, what does p do? P is equal to p into I. Okay. Now I is equal to 1. So, and initially p is equal to 1. 1 into 1 in the first loop. Then what does it do? I increments. Okay. And it becomes 2. So p is equal to p into I again, which is now I is 2. So p is equal to p into 2. So p is 1 into 1 and then 2. Okay. So once this happens, then I becomes 3, so it comes out of the loop, and then it returns the value. It returns 1 into 2, which is the factorial of 2, right? So this is returned here and it is printed. So this is 2 is printed now. P is equal to 2 is printed. Now what happens here in the main function? I increments. So I is equal to 1. Okay. Now that I is equal to 1, I again take in a user input. I take in 8 from the user. So k is equal to 8. Now printf percentage %d. Find factorial of, I am passing in 8. So this particular function finds a factorial of 8. So here again the same thing happens. Okay, for int I is equal to 1, I is less than k, I plus plus. So first what does it do? P is equal to P into I, right? P is 1, 1 into 1 when I is equal to 1. Then in the second iteration, P is equal to P is 1 into 1, okay, into I has incremented, it becomes 2. Then in the next equation again P is equal to P into I, right? So P is equal to 1 into 1 into 2 into I. What is I here? 3. Like that it keeps incrementing until it becomes 8. Okay, so it will be 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 till into 8. After it becomes 8, it increments, it becomes 9. It will see this condition fails. So it will come out of the loop and the value of P will be 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into till 8. And it returns that calculated value here. And that value is printed. So what is printed here is 1 in, is 8 factorial. Okay. Then I is equal to 2. Okay. Now I increments and becomes 2. So I is less than n. What is n? N is 3, right? So 2 is less than 3. So it goes inside the loop. 2 is less than 3. So now I is 2. 2 is less than 3. It goes in and it takes in one more input. Okay. And it stores it in k. So k is equal to 4 and then this particular function is called again. 4 is passed to it. And in the same manner, it does 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. Okay, it does this computation, stores it in P, and that value is returned here, and then that is printed. Okay, so this is how this particular function works. I hope that this particular explanation is clear. Okay, somebody is telling discuss the second question. Okay, so I'll discuss the second question. Let me go to the second question. So the second question is, write a function in C to find the kth occurrence of an odd integer number in a sequence of non-negative integers and then call your function from main. Your function should be according to the following declaration. Int find underscore odd int k. Input, you are given the input in two lines. The first line contains a positive integer k. Second line, you will be given a sequence of numbers terminating with a minus 1. You have to find the kth occurrence of an odd integer in the sequence. Okay. For this, first let us understand this question. So first, the input that the user gives is 3. Okay, let us say. Then the user gives another input of a large sequence. Okay, and the sequence always terminates with minus 1. Now what happens is you have to find what is the odd number. How many odd numbers are there in this? So for example, if this sequence has 3 odd numbers, then I return the value of the third odd number. So first odd number is 1, second odd number is 3, third odd number is 5. So I'm returning 5. If I'm not able to find 3 odd numbers, then I return -1. So for example here, I have to only find one odd number in the sequence. This sequence, this is k, this is entered by the user, and this particular sequence below is also entered by the user, and this sequence terminates by -1. So here I need to find only one odd number, and if I find the odd number, I am returning a value, returning that value. So the first odd number is 1, and I return it. So the output is 1. Similarly here, if you see, I need to find two odd numbers. 4 is not an odd number, 1 is an odd number. So I found the first odd number. 8 is not an odd number, 6 is not an odd number, 2 is not an odd number. Okay, now the sequence term is over because -1 indicates the end of the sequence. So I was not able to find the second odd number, hence I return a value of -1 if I'm not able to find two odd numbers. Here again I have to find two odd numbers in the sequence that is entered by the user. So 1 is the first odd number, 4 is not an odd number, 3 is the second odd number. So I found the second odd number, so I have to return the value of 3. So that is the output. Similarly here, I have to find three odd numbers. So 2 is not an odd number, 4 is not an odd number, 1 is an odd number. So that is the first odd number. 9 is an odd number, that is the second odd number. 4 and 4 are not odd numbers. So I did not find three odd numbers. So I return -1. Okay. So let us look at how to solve this. Okay. Let us look at the solution. So I hope you were able to follow until now. Let me just explain the solution and then we'll discuss. If you have any doubts, I'll address that. Just let me drink some water. Okay. Void. So I have a function called void find odd. So how do I find an odd number? Does anybody know about the modulo operator? Let me explain. So uh, one second. So let's say I have a number 9 and I do modulo 3. Can somebody tell me what will be the output of this? 9 modulo 3. Can somebody tell me what is the output of this? Yeah, so it's 0, right? Correct. So essentially what this does is the modulo operator gives the remainder. Yeah, many people are answering that. The modulo operator gives a remainder. Now what I want to do is I want to find whether the number is odd or even, right? So how do I find that? So we know even numbers are perfectly divisible by 2, right? So any even number, let's say 102. If I divide it by 2, there is no remainder, right? Remainder equals 0. And if I have an odd number, let's say 21, if I divide it by 2, so this goes 10 times and the remainder is 2 goes 10 times in 21 and the remainder is 1. So what I need to do is number modulo 2 is equal to 1 for odd numbers and it is equal to 0 for even numbers. Okay, so this is how it works. This is the logic. Yeah, exactly. Shweta is telling modulo operator gives the remainder. So if I do any number modulo 2, it is equal to 1 if if the number is odd, and equals 0 for if the number is even. So we are going to use this logic. Okay. So let me just erase this. Lot of junk here. Let me just erase this. Yeah, now to actually solve the problem. So the problem is the first the user input is I taken a user input k, okay, and uh, let's say I give 3, okay, then I take a sequence of numbers terminating with -1, okay. So let's say I take 1, 2, 8, 5, 7, 9, 13, -1. So this is the sequence of inputs I take. So this is an odd number 1. Then this is the second odd number 2. And this is the third odd number 3. So I know that I have to find 3 odd numbers in my sequence. So if I find 3 odd numbers, I need to my output should be this, right? Output should be 3. I need to, sorry, output should be 7. If I don't find 3 odd numbers, then my output before the sequence get terminated, my output should be -1. Okay. No, we will see how to solve it. Some asking some doubt. We don't need to store it in another. Okay, now see, this is the main function. Int k, scanf %d %k. Okay, so I input 3, k is equal to 3. Okay, and then I call the function called find odd. So this is the function that is called. Now I store a variable called int odd count equals 0. Okay, int odd count equals 0. Okay, then I have int current. Okay, now I take in the user input. Okay, I take in the user input from the user and I store it in current. Okay, so my user gives me the input, so current is 1 now. Okay, current is 1. Now I check is current equal to -1. So I enter a while loop, while current not equal to -1. Okay, so my while loop will be running until I encounter an input of -1 from the user. Okay, until then I will be going through this. So if current modulo 2 equal to 1, odd count equal odd count plus 1. So what is current? 1 modulo, what is 1 modulo 2? 1 modulo 2 is 1 because 2 goes 0 times in 1, so the remainder is 1. Okay, so this is satisfied. So my odd count, let me call odd count is equal to 1 now. Okay, now I go my, now it checks if odd count equal to k. Okay, so it's checking if the odd count is equal to k, then it's not equal to k, right? I have only found one odd number. So, but if it happens to be equal to k, it will output the current odd number and it will return the function, right? So that doesn't happen. So I go back. Now I take, now what I do, here I take one more user input, okay? My second user input is 2. So current equals 2. Okay, now current is equal to 2. Okay, this is end of while. End of while. Okay, now I go back here and I check, is current equal to -1? No, current is equal to 2. So I enter my loop. If current modulo 2 equal to 1, what is current modulo 2? 2 modulo 2 is actually 0. So it will not enter this if block. Okay, it will not enter this if block, and now it goes here. It skips the if block, it comes here and it takes one more user input. Okay, now my current is 8. Okay, first 2 is over. Now I take 8 and I store it in current. Okay, now again I will check, is 8 not equal to -1? Yes, it is not equal to -1, so I enter the while loop. Now I check is if current modulo 2 equal to 1. Current modulo 2 is actually 8 modulo 2 is equal to 0, right? So it will not enter this if block. It comes here and again it scans. Okay, it scans, takes user input. Current is equal to 5. Now the user enters 5. So it checks here. Is 5 not equal to -1? Yes, 5 is not equal to -1. So it enters the if block. Sorry, it enters the while loop. Now it checks. If current modulo 2 equal to 1, 5 modulo 2 is actually 1. Yes, it is true. So it enters the if block. Odd count is equal to, what is odd count now? Odd count becomes 2, right? It was initially 1. Odd count was 1. Odd count becomes 2. Now it checks, is odd count equal to k? What is k? K is 3, right? So 2 is not equal to 3. So it does not enter this if block. It comes here, takes in one more user input. Okay, takes in one more user input here, and that user input is 5. Sorry, 5 is already done. It takes in 7. Okay, so now current equal to 7. Now it goes back here. Okay, it goes back here and it checks, is current equal to -1? No, it is not equal to -1. So it enters the while loop. Now if 7 modulo 2 is equal to 1, right? That is correct. So it enters this if block. Now odd count becomes what? Odd underscore count, it gets incremented. It becomes 3. Now it checks, is odd count equal to k? Yes, 3 is equal to 3 because k is also 3 from this, and odd count is also equal to 3. So it prints current. What is current? So it prints output, which is, right. It prints current and which is 7, and it returns. So the program execution now goes here to the next line, return 0, and program ends. Okay. So yeah, this particular problem is done. If you have any doubt related to this particular problem, you can ask me. I will try and address. I hope this is clear. This doubt, this particular question. Okay. Let us go on to the next question in this itself. Since we are solving 3, let us finish 3. In this question, you have the output, the two moving average of a sequence of non-negative numbers. The two moving average is a sequence of average of the last two entries. For the first number, no average is output. For example, if the sequence of number is a1, a2, a3, a4, a5, the two moving average is a1 plus 2 comma 2, a2. Okay, the input is a sequence of non-negative floating in point integers terminated by a -1. Okay, similar to last time. The -1 is not part of the sequence. There will be at least 3 numbers in the sequence. Okay, output, you have to output the average of the sequence. Output should be correct to one digit from the decimal. Hint, use the format specifier percentage 1.f inside printf. This is a sample input, and this is should be the sample output. Okay. Okay, let's see how to solve this. Let us look at the solution. Do shift S. Let me take one input and output. Okay, so now what should we do? Let me just take this particular question, the solution, and I'll discuss it. Okay, so here I have two variables. I have two variables, first, second, and current. Okay, so let us go through this. So first, what is happening is float first. Let me just drink some water. Okay, so initially I'm taking in and storing 29 in first. Okay, then I'm storing 73 in the variable second. I'm storing in 73. Then what am I doing? I'm outputting. My output is 29 plus 73 by 2. Okay, which is 51. So this is my output. Okay. Then what am I doing? I'm taking one more user input. So this satisfies the criteria that I have to take minimum of 3 user inputs. And I'm storing it in a variable called current. Okay, so current will store 67. Okay, now I check if current is not equal to -1. So is 67 equal to -1? While current is not equal to -1. So I enter a while loop. Yes, it is. Hi guys, are you able to hear me now? There was some technical issue due to which my voice was not carrying. But are you guys able to hear me? Okay, okay, thanks guys. Sorry for the problem. Okay, so many of you are telling uh, you don't want to discuss this problem. Is there anybody who wants to discuss this problem? If you want to discuss it, kindly let me know. I will discuss it. If there is nobody who wants to discuss it, then I will go to week 4. Yeah. Do you want me to discuss this particular problem? Gopal Krishnan is saying yes. Pawan Saw is saying yes. Jesuri is telling 8th. So since you guys have are many of you are telling many assignments, I'll go step by step. So we'll start. We have started with 3. We'll go one by one and we will discuss. So Gopal Krishnan, yeah, Gopal, are you saying? Do you want to discuss this, or were you saying that my voice is audible? Okay, fine. Okay, we'll let me quickly discuss this, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, let us go through. Okay, yeah. So now my current value is 67, right? This is what is input by the user. Now what do? First is equal to second. So what is first? 29. I and second is 73. Now my first is equal to 73. Okay. Then second equal to current. So second equal to current is 67. So that is what I do. 73 and 67. I have 73 and 67. Right? That is what I wanted. 73 and 67. Now I do an average of this. I do first plus second by 2, which is 73 plus 67 by 2. Okay. So this is the output that I get. I get 70. This is what I wanted. Now I take in one more input from the user. Okay. So my current now is 34. Current equals 34. Then I go, is current is equal to minus one? Not if current is not equal to minus one. Yes, current is not equal to minus one. So I go inside the loop. Then I do first is equal to second again. So first is 73, second was 67. So my first becomes 67 now. And then second becomes current. Okay, so second equals what is current now? 34. Then I do printf first plus second by 2. So 67 plus 34 by 2. This is my output, 50.5. Now I go here, scanf, percentage f, and ampersand current. So I take in one more user input. Okay. Now what I do is, uh, yeah. So now I am inputting, what is my input? Minus 1, right? So my current equal minus 1. So since my current is equal to minus 1, I check, is current not equal to minus 1? No, it is equal to minus 1. So I skip this while loop and I return 0. My program ends. So this is the basic working of this. Okay. Now let's move on to the fourth assignment. We'll go step by step because I need to address everyone's problems, right? Uh, we'll go step by step. We'll go one by one. Arrays and pointers. Okay. Let us see what is this question. Given two arrays of positive numbers, output the largest number in the first array, not present in the second one. So the first line contains the size of the array, the second line contains the contents of the first array, the third line contains the size of the second array, fourth line contains the contents of the second array. Output the largest number occurring in the first array that does not occur in the second array. In case there is no such number, output 0. The sizes of the array are smaller than 20. Okay, so this is the input. So here first is we input the size of the first array, which is 3, and then we input the elements of the array through 2, 3 and 4. Then we input the size of the array 4. Then we input 1, 4, 5 and 6. Now we have to find the size largest number occurring in the first array that does not occur in the second array. Okay. So first I need to find what is the largest number occurring in this array. It is 4. So is 4 occurring in this particular array? Yes. So I cannot output this. Then I check 3. This is the second largest. Is it occurring here? Yes. No. So this is my output. Okay. So this is a fairly straightforward program, but let's go to the solution. So let us check for this particular. Let us check for this particular input. Now, I'll just drink some water and come. I need to fill my bottle, and I also need a break for 2-3 minutes. So let us resume after 2-3 minutes. Okay. Let's. Okay, guys. I'm back. Let's discuss this particular assignment. Okay. So I need to int main has two values n1 and n2, and I create two variables, two arrays of size maximum of 20, right? So who knows? Does anybody know what this is? What this does? Define what is this? Can somebody tell me? It was there in this week's content. Hash define max 20. What is that? What does that do? Okay. Yeah, max is 20, but any further explanation than that? Yeah, exactly. Okay, wherever max it replaces by 20, correct. So what it does is wherever the preprocessor basically uh, checks for this. So what it does is wherever it finds the variable max, oh sorry, the string max in the text, it will replace that by 20. So we want our array to be of max. So we can see here that we have used max in this location. So what it basically means is it will replace max with 20, the value 20. So here we are declaring an array of two variables of size 20, two arrays of size 20. Okay, because that in the question it is given that the array should be of maximum size 20. We have two integer variables. Now n1 equals read array, array of 1. Okay, so uh, this particular function is called read array. The read array function is called, and array 1 is passed to this particular function, right? So actually what is happening here is this is actually a pointer to the first location of the array. So if you guys remember how it works, array of 1 is actually a pointer to the zeroth element of array 1. So that is actually being passed here, right? Uh, anyways, so the array is now passed here, and now what we have to do, int I comma n. So I take in an input, and that input is 3. That 3 is first stored here in n. Then I do for I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. Okay, so I iterate uh, 0 to 2. Okay, so I store 2, 3, and 4 in this particular array. So I have array of 0. At array of 0, I'm storing 2. Then I'm checking is I is equal less than n, I plus 1. So I becomes 1. So at array of 1, at location 1, I'm storing 3. Then I increments. Then it becomes 2. Okay. Then I store, what do I store? 4, right? This is my input that I'm giving. So I store 4. Now I increments one more time. So I becomes 3. So here I was 0, I was 1, I was 2. Now I is equal to 3, right? I'm discussing this part. When I becomes 3, it will check is 3 less than n. So n is 3. 3 is not less than 3. 3 is equal to 3. So it comes out of the loop and it returns n. Okay. It returns 3, the value 3. And that value 3 is stored in n1. Okay. That value 3 is stored in n1. So right now we have an array which has these variables 2, 3, and 4. So does anybody know uh, so I'm passing in array 1. So essentially what I'm passing in is I'm passing in the address of location 1 to this, right? Now whatever operation I'm doing here is actually on the based on that address that I passed. So my actual original array is whatever data whatever data I'm storing is in actually array of 1. Okay, that is how it works. So now my array of 1 has 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and n1 is equal to 3. Similarly, I read in array 2. So my array 2 will have 1, 4, 5, and 6, and n2 will be 4. Okay, so this is the setup now. Does everybody follow up till here? If you follow up till here, I will continue. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. Now I have two variables. Okay, int I comma largest equal to 0. I equal to 0, largest equal to 0. Okay, so first I am iterating through this. Int value is equal to ARR of I. Okay, so let us see what is happening here. If not present, so let us see what this particular thing is. Int present, int ARR of it has an takes an input of an array and two integers. Okay, and it so this is the array. This particular function, it takes in an input of an array, then it takes in the size of the array. Okay, let us see what else. And it takes the first, it takes in a value of array 1, right? It takes in a value. Now, okay, what it does is it checks. Okay, now let me explain what is happening here. What I'm doing is first I'm checking 2. Okay, I have 2 and I'm checking whether 2 is present in array of 2. Okay, that is what this is doing. If it is not present, then what I do is I have largest equal to 0, right? So if largest is equal to 0, I check is the current largest value less than 2? Yes, it is less than 2. So I make largest is equal to 2. Okay. So what I'm doing is first I'm checking whether 2 is present here. Okay. Then after, okay, now I'm checking if 2 is present here. It is not present, right? Then I'm checking the current largest value is 0, right? Current largest value is 0. So I check is 2 less than is largest less than 2? Yes, largest is less than 2. So my new largest value is becomes 2. Then I again do this. I check whether 3 is in this particular array. So 3 is not in array 2. So then I check is 3 less than is largest less than 3? Yes, 2 is less than 3. So my largest becomes 3. Now I check is 4 in this array? Yes, 4 is in this array. So I don't even check what is my largest for the largest listing. And now my output is this. Okay. So let me, yeah. So this was just basically Shiva Kumar. I was just basically explaining the top level working of this. Now I'll go into the details of how this actually works. Okay. So what do I want to do? So first, for I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. Okay. Int val equals array of 1. Okay. Let me go here. So what is int val equals array of 1? It is 2, right? Because I is equal to 0. I is equal to 0. Val is equal to array 1 of I, which is 0. So val is equal to 2. Because array of 0 is 2. Now what I am doing is, I am calling a function. Okay. I am passing in an array. I am passing in the size of the array. And I am passing in this value. So what am I passing into present? I am passing in array of 2. I'm passing in array of 2. I'm passing in the size of the array. The size of the array is 4. And I'm passing in the value 2. Okay. Now what this function does is, it checks whether 2 is present in array of 2, right? So I need the size of the array to iterate through the array. That is why I have sent the size of the array, and I have sent this value to check whether this value is present in array of 2. So in this particular case, I check int I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus is. So let me just iterate through this. Okay. So this particular array now has these values 1, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So I is equal to 0 first. Is array of 0 is equal to what is the value that I've sent? 2, right? So element here is 2. I'm checking is array of 0 equal to 2. Then I'm checking is array of 1 equal to 2. Like that I do till array of 3. Okay, if it is equal, then I return 1. If it is not equal, I return 0. Right? So in this particular case, since 2 is not present in this array, since 2 is not present in this particular array, I return a value of 0, right? So 0 comes here, the value 0 comes here, and then it gets complemented, so it becomes 1. So now it enters the if block. Now I check if largest is less than value. What is value? Value was 2, right? And largest was, what was largest? Largest was initially 0. 0 is less than value. So it enters this if block and it makes largest is equal to 2. Okay. So that is how this is working. And then it checks for the next element. It checks for the next element, 3. It checks whether 3 is present in array of 2. Since 3 is not in array of 2, it returns it then checks whether this 3 is larger than the previous largest. That is how this works. So if you have any particular doubt, you can just tell me I have doubt in this particular line. That is what I was explaining this, Surya. You are asking what is element, right? I am sending one value. I am sending one value every time from array 1 into this particular function. Then I am checking. Whether that is what is okay. Let's say I am sending array of 0. I am storing it in element. Then I am checking whether this okay, and this is array of 2. With the entire array I am sending array of 2. Then I am checking whether this element, that is array of 0, is present in array of 2. That is what that means. I hope this is clear. If you want me, I can explain again. Tell which particular line you didn't understand and I will try and explain from there. So always read the code from main. The execution runs from int main. First this is executed, then it goes here. Then this particular function is called. So then the execution goes here. That is how you should read the code. Okay, then if anybody has any further doubts with this, you can ask me. Okay, no doubts. So then I'll go to the next question. Given a sequence of integers, find the number of distinct numbers in the sequence. The sequence need not be sorted. Okay. The input consists of 2 lines. The first line consists of a positive number n at most 1000. The second line consists of n integers separated by spaces. The number of distinct elements in the sequence 5 is 1, 3, 2, 5, 4. So all elements here are distinct, right? In this, so first is the first thing that I need to enter is the number of uh, positive numbers that I'm going to enter. So here 5. So then the user is going to enter 5 positive numbers. Here it is 8. So the user is going to enter 8 positive numbers. Here again 8. So user enters 8 positive numbers. Here it is 5. So the user enters so many positive numbers. Okay. Now what the second line consists of n integers separated by spaces. Okay. Number of distinct elements in the sequence. So what it means is if 1 is the first element in the sequence, it should not be present in the remaining numbers. If 3 is present, is a number, then it should not be present in anywhere else. It should there should be no repetitions. Okay, as in you should not count the repetitions. Basically, that is what. So, for example, here 1 is repeated 8 times. So we only count 1 once, and we don't count this. So, for example, here if you see 1 is here, but it's repeated here again. 2 is here, but it's repeated 2 times. 3 is also repeated once. So, how many unique numbers are here? Only 1, 2, and 3. So, there are 3 unique numbers. I need to output this. So, that is what this code is all about. Now, let us take this output. So, we'll solve it for this particular test sequence. And let us look at what is the solution. Okay, so here what I'm doing is let us go through the code. First, I'll give you a high level overview of what is happening. Then we'll see little more in detail. So first, I'm having an array of size 1000. Then what I'm doing is I taken user input 5 from the user. So n is equal to 5. Then I input 5 values from the user. So my array has 1, 3, 2, 5, and 1. Okay. So this is my user input. Till here the user is inputting. Now let's see what is happening here. Let me go through this code and try and understand what is happening. Okay, so I understand what is happening here now. So what it is doing is first I'm checking, I have this value 1. Then I'm checking, are there any similar elements before this of 1? Since this is the first element, there is no similar element. So my count is equal to 1. Okay. Then what I'm doing, I'm checking 3. Are Is 3 before this particular point? No. So my count is equal to count plus 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Then I'm checking 2. Okay. So I'm checking, is 2 present before this particular part in the array? So 2 is not equal to 3, 2 is not equal to 1. So I again increment my count. 1 plus 1, sorry, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Then similarly for 5, I check whether 5 is present here. No. So then again I increment my count. Okay. Now I check, is 1 present before? So 1 equal to 5, no. 2 equal 1 equal to 2, no. 1 equal to 3, no. 1 equal to 1, yes. 1 is equal to 1. So I don't increment the count. So count remains 4. And then finally I come out. So my count is, so I have 4 unique elements in my array. That is how this logic works. So let us go through the code and see exactly the nitty-gritty details of how this works. So I equal to 0, int found equal to 0. Okay, let me check. Found equal to 0. Then if j is equal to I minus 1, j greater than equal to 0, j minus minus. Okay, so what it does, what is I? I itself is 0. So is I, uh, so j equal to, so what does j become? J becomes minus 1. Is j greater than equal to 0? No, j is not greater than equal to 0. So it doesn't even iterate through this. So it's the first element, right? It doesn't iterate through this. So my found remains 0. So then since it doesn't iterate through this, this is the for block. It doesn't iterate through the for block. So found was initially 0. So if found is equal to 0, count is equal to count plus 1. So count is equal to 1 now, right? Count was initially 0. 0 plus 1 is, now I go here, I is equal to 1. So for int I is equal to 1, I is less than n. Yes, I is less than n because n is 5 and I plus plus. So again found is equal to 0 initially. Then I check, just hold on. Yeah. Then I check, I go through this loop. For j is equal to I minus 1. Okay. So j is equal to, what is I minus 1? I minus 1 is 1, right? So j equal to 1. So a of 1 is equal to a of I. What is I? I is 1, right? Yeah. So j is equal to I minus 1. So I was 1. I minus 1 is 1 minus 1 equal to 0. So is a of 0 is equal to a of 1? No. A of 0 is 1. A of 1 is 3. So then found uh, found doesn't found it doesn't go into this if block. So found remains 0. Okay. So since found is 0, count is equal to count plus 1. So count equals 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So similarly, I come here, right? I keep incrementing my count. So I is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now let me come to 4. Okay, let me come to 4. Then found is 0 initially. So found is 0. Then for j is equal to I minus 1. Okay, j is equal to I is 4. So for j is equal to 3, I check a of is a of 3 equal to a a of I, which is a of 4. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay. So what is a of 3? Is 5 equal to 1? No. So then j decrements. Is j of 2 in the next loop, j decrements because j minus minus, right? Is a of 2 equal to a of 4? Similarly, a of 1 is equal to a of 4. So a of 2 is 2. 2 is not equal to 1. Similarly, a of 1 3 is not equal to 1. But a of 0 is equal to a of 4, right? 1 is equal to 1. Yes, so it is equal to 1. So found becomes 1. Since found becomes 1, it doesn't go into this if block. So this does not increment. And then this bigger for loop gets over because I becomes 5, right? Is 5 less than n? No, 5 is not less than n, so it comes out. So this is the basic working of this. So if any of you have any doubts, let me know. Let us see what other people are asking. Why not present is used? Somebody was asking why not present is used. Okay, why not present? That is the previous one, right? Let me go back. Yeah. So if it is not present, so if you remember, what was the question? Let me go back. Let me show the question. So somebody is asking from the previous this thing. So the question was given two arrays of positive numbers, output the largest number in the first array not present in the second one. Right? It should output the largest number in the first array not present in the first one. Not present in the second one. So what I'm doing here is first I'm checking whether this each I have two arrays. So first I check whether the first element is present in the second element, right? Sorry, the first element of the first array is present in the second array. If it is present, then this returns uh, it returns 1, right? So if it only if it is present, since so let us look here. Okay, so is 2 present in array? Is the element 2 present in array of 2? No, it is not present in array 2. So what this does is it returns a value of 1. Now complement of 1 is 0, right? So it does not enter this if block because I don't want to, if it is present, I don't want to check whether it is largest or not. Only when it is not present in the second array, I want to check whether it is largest. That is why we are doing this. If it is not present, if the current element that we are looking at is not present in the second array, only then we check whether it's the largest element or not. That is the logic. I hope that answers your. Okay, somebody is asking for some last minute tips. Uh, so yeah, the last minute tip is basically this is you just need to uh, understand the logic. If you understand how arrays work, for example, how variables work, uh, and if you have solved the assignment questions, then I think you get a grasp of what is happening in the course, right? Uh, so I don't think you should take a lot of stress because I don't know the pattern of the exam. Uh, But what you can do is you just go through the basic things, uh, uh, the syntax, go through the syntax, go through the important concepts, go through pointers. That's a very important concept. Go through all these important concepts, and last minute don't take stress. That is what I will say. Don't burn the midnight oil. Have enough sleep. Go revise everything, and then go for the exam and do your best. Yeah, I mean, till now you should have watched all the videos, right? So you can go through your notes. You don't need to go through all the videos right now. Just go through all the notes that you have done till now. Yeah, I mean, if you are able to solve the assignments, that means you have watched the uh, videos. Otherwise, you won't be able to solve the assignment. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this particular question was uh, is understood. Let us go through. Let us take a break for 2 minutes, and then I'll be back. I need to use the restroom. Somebody is asking, sir, I want. We need to count the number of same elements, or we have to output the number of. We have to output the number of distinct elements. Yeah, we have to output the number of distinct elements. So what we are doing is, first we check. Yeah. So first we check, for example, let us start from here. We check whether 3 is present before. Okay, 3 is present before this. Uh, if 3 is present before any time before this, then we don't add to the count. So see, 3 is 3 is not present before, so we add one. 2 is not present before, so we add one. So 5 is also not present before we add. But 1 here is present here, right? So we don't add one. That is the logic. Some asking me about MCQs and stuff. Like that is what I think. Uh, Maybe you joined a bit late, but I mentioned in the beginning that I don't have any idea about the format of the exam because I'm not involved with that part. Okay, I think let me just discuss on final. Uh, so I had planned some questions. Write a program in C to create a singly linked list where each node stores a name, roll number of the student. Both the size and details of the students must be entered by the user. Okay. So, uh, so this is a question related to linked list. So let me just go directly and discuss the solution. Let me open it. Yeah, so essentially, first what I'm doing is I'm creating a structure called student. In that structure, I have an array called name, okay, which just stores the name of the student. Then I have another field called roll number of type int, and then I have a pointer of the same type as the structure. And this pointer is basically going to store the location of the next node, right? So that is the basic idea of this. So what I'm doing is first I ask the user to enter the number of students, and then I'm storing it in a variable called number of students. Then I'm calling a function called store student details. Okay. So this particular function basically creates a list having, let's say I enter 4. So it will create a list having 4 nodes. Okay. So what I'm doing here is uh, I'm passing in the number of students that I need to enter into this particular function. I'm creating one more pointer of type struct student, and it's called current node. Then using the malloc function, I'm creating a I'm allocating memory for one particular node, okay, on the heap. After that, I'm checking, and after that, I'm assigning the uh, so that particular memory location. Uh, I'm storing whatever memory I've allotted. I'm storing that in the pointer called start of students list. Okay, so now I know where my uh, linked list starts. After this, I'm iterating through. I'm creating a, a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than number of students. Let's say number of students is 4, I plus plus. Then I'm entering. I'm asking the user to enter the name. Okay. What I'm doing is my current node now currently points to the starting of the list, right? I created this memory location. So, and I have that I'm my current node is pointing to that memory location. Okay, so I'm accessing that structure, I'm accessing the field in that, and what I'm doing is I'm taking the user input, and I'm storing it in that. Okay, now what I'm doing is similarly I'm taking the roll number. After that I'm checking, is not equal, if I is not equal to number of students, that is, this is not the last element in the list, then what I'm doing is I'm creating one more node. Okay, and I'm assigning the current pointer, the current, I'm creating one more node, and the location of that particular node, so I'm allocating a new memory location, and the location of the new memory location I'm storing it in the current pointer. Okay, so my current node, uh, like I said, this is the first element. My current node also has a pointer, right? So I'm storing the current, uh, the next node's location in the current, in the first node's pointer. Then I'm updating the pointer. Okay, and if it's the last element in the list, I'm just storing it as null. So this is the gist of it. So you can just go through the code. So there's not much time to explain this, and this will take some time to understand. So if you understood the concept of linked list, singly linked list, then you'll understand what is happening here. So you can just look at the code here. Uh, you can take screenshots if you want, and then you can go through it. So this is how this thing is being created. The list is being created. Okay, guys. I mean, I'll stop here for now. So we have had around 8 live interaction sessions of almost 2 hours each. Uh, so it was great interacting with all of you. I also learned many things. Actually, this is I'm also new to C, so I was also watching the video like you guys and learning. And the doubts that you guys asked me, I also learned new things because of that. So uh, I will upload the session today itself, Tamil. I will upload it now itself. By today night, it will be uploaded. Somebody is asking me about the exam pattern. So that is what I already mentioned this in the beginning, that I don't have any idea exam pattern because I'm not involved with that part of the course. Uh, so thank you very much, guys, for being with me in this long journey. Thank you for sticking around. So I remember my first live session, there were around 450 students, and now I think there are only 40 students or 30 students. So that means you guys have persisted until the very end. So congratulations for that, and all the very best for your exams. I'm sure you guys will do well, and all the best for your future as well. So thank you guys, and see you. Of course, this is the last live session, so I won't be seeing you. Uh, but best of luck for your future. It was great interacting with you guys. Goodbye. Yeah, thanks, guys. Goodbye. I'm reading all your comments. Thank you. Thanks a lot.